Okay, so the next thing here, we got ALTERNAWEEN. Now this launched yesterday. I guess we could say launched. It's not a campaign or anything like that, you know, but this is, well, we've been doing ALTERNAWEEN since 2018. I think so, 2018, that sounds right. And there might have been 1 or 2 years we didn't do it because of COVID. Definitely we didn't do it in 2020. We might have not done it in 2021, but I think we did. This year, it's only on the Alterna site. It's not on Indiegogo. It's not on Fund My Comic. We don't really use Kickstarter. So it's just on alternacomics.com. So you can go to alternacomics.com/pre-order, and the link is in the description of the show, to get your ALTERNAWEEN bundle. Last year, we sold out of all ages bundles. I think we had like 30 or 40 available, something like that, and we sold out. So make sure, if you do want an ALTERNAWEEN bundle, if you want to use the comics as trick-or-treats on Halloween, which of course we absolutely encourage, please make sure you get your bundles as soon as possible. We're going to stop taking orders on these on October 15th. Everything is guaranteed to get to you in time by October 25th, if not earlier, sometimes much earlier. There's already 1 or 2 people that have their shipments because they had pre-ordered. We had made these available for the Alterna All-Stars. We had made these available at the start of the month on a slight discount. So that's another thing too I'm going to get to in a second about the Alterna All-Star program. But for now, ALTERNAWEEN, we got all ages bundles here. You get 25 all ages comics. You get 25 young adult comics in the young adult bundle. You get 25 mature rated comics in the mature bundle. Which is basically just like 17 and up. And then also in the mixed ages bundle, that's young adult and all ages. Young adult, to be perfectly honest, it's pretty good for ages like 10 to 13, 14. Maybe even a little younger, depending. But if you want to absolutely give these out, trick-or-treats, all ages bundle's always good for that. The other ones, this is a good time to, you know, if you want to get these as gifts, if you want to get these to even donate or even try out titles at Alterna, you'll get a big assortment of these types of titles, different issues. You're going to get some doubles, though, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You're going to get probably 5 to 7 sets of doubles, so there's going to be a couple of issues in there that you'll get, like, you know, 2 copies or so at least of that issue. Sometimes, depending on what it is, maybe 3 copies. But that is because we're thinking these are going to be used as trick-or-treats, even if you got 25 of the same book, which you never will. You'll never get anything like that. But even if you did, it's supposed to be 1 book to each different child that's trick-or-treating. So that's the mindset of this. And every year, this program is so great, especially the fact that you guys participate in this. And thousands of kids get comics, many of which for the first time on Halloween. And you don't know what that's going to do. I mean, that could send a kid down the path of becoming either an avid reader, a comic collector, a comic reader, a comic creator. You never know. I guarantee we do this long enough, and who knows, maybe 10, 20 years from now, there's going to be somebody out there that is making really great comics, and the reason why is because they picked up their first comic on Halloween night, and it was an Alterna book from an Alterna reader that participated in ALTERNAWEEN. So thank you guys for making this possible. Again, we've been doing this for a few years now, since 2018, and it's great every year, and this year I'm sure will be no exception. So with every bundle too, you also get a tote bag this year. So if you get 5 bundles, you get 5 tote bags. So that's the bonus, and you can use this. I mean, if you've got kids, this is a perfect trick-or-treat bag for Halloween. If you don't have kids, this is a perfect bag. I use one all the time anyway. It's a great bag, really nice, roomy, and it'll fit a lot of whatever it is you're putting in there. So that's a bonus for every single ALTERNAWEEN bundle. We also have a pin if you'd like to get a pin. There's an ALTERNAWEEN pin right there. And again, that's on alternacomics.com/pre-order. I'm going to put the link right there for you. Let's see. March Hare says, I checked the link. I'll be grabbing a couple bundles. Got to keep my title as the comic book house. That's great to hear. What I really love to hear, too, is when people go all out and they give candy with the comics, you know? That's always fun. I can't imagine anything better for me as a kid, and I'm sure you guys probably can't either, than getting comics unexpectedly on Halloween with your candy. So give them something healthy this year and get them a comic book. Let's see. Brian says, I think you did 2021. I think that was my first Alternaween. That sounds about right, you know, because I remember it wasn't like in full swing in 2021, but there was enough people participating and asking about it, and I mean in Halloween in general, that it felt like we could do that. So you're probably right. Dark Admiral says, I always enjoyed the streams you did back in the day when you'd be working on sketch cards. Thank you very much. I hope one day to get a better setup here. I was trying to do draw streams and whatnot for a while, and I kind of did maybe 6 or 7 of them, but started really tweaking out my neck from the angle. It's not the best angle here, especially to have it on camera. Maybe one day I'll have a better setup, and then I can actually get some draw streams going again. But thank you. Appreciate that. Dale says, I got my copies. I appreciate that. Thank you, Dale. Thanks for participating in Alternaween this year. Always great to see people are spreading the good word of comics. And Halloween's a fun night to do it. You know, kids are dressed up like their favorite characters or whatever it might be. And getting a comic on that night with some candy is probably the next best thing to Christmas. Where if you got any leftover Alternaween books, use them as stocking stuffers. Dale says, it really is nice to see kids get excited about a comic book along with their candy. Yeah, I mean, if you've ever done Alternaween, I mean, obviously, we give away comics to kids whenever we possibly can with this type of event. It's just cool to see. They almost like they don't know what to make of it at first, you know? But it's kind of like, oh, that's for me? Okay. You know, it's fun to hear the stories too. I got a lot of great stories from people over the years who've participated in Alternaween. Dr. Mask says, what do you consider King Cryptid, Pete? Young adult? I mean, in my heart of hearts, I'd say King Cryptid is all ages. King Cryptid is very much like any comic that would have been out in the 70s, 80s, 90s, before things started really getting nitty gritty with every single little, you know, if it was this, it was all ages. If it was that, it was young adult or teen. If it was, you know, but I would say for modern times, most King Cryptid titles are young adult, and some of them are fairly in the all ages category, where I can't think of anything that's too intense in the issue for kids. But like I said, in my heart of hearts, I think King Cryptid is an all ages series. I don't think there's anything too crazy in there. I would say it's like a PG-13 series, you know, and I know PG-13 is not all ages, but there was a time when there wasn't PG-13. And we can thank Raiders of the Lost Ark for that one. No, Temple of Doom. That's what it is. Temple of Doom is what kind of brought about the initiative of PG-13. We got Dark Admiral March Hare. Says, I know the groups of kids keep getting bigger, and quite a few ask if we're giving out books, so I can definitely vouch for it being a great idea. Oh, thank you. That's great to hear. Yeah, every year I get people that are like taking pictures of the setup that they have for Halloween, or even, you know, if they manage to get pictures of the kids with the comics and things like that. So thank you guys for sharing your memories with us of the day. Dr. Mask says, last year was my first time for Alternaween. I gave them candy and a comic. Fantastic. Kevin says, we don't get many in my neighborhood, but I'm snagging a single bundle. Fantastic. Well, that's the thing too, you know, it's a great sampler bundle. It's a great sampler bundle. So when you do get it, you can try out all kinds of different comics, all kinds of different issues, all kinds of different titles with these bundles. So even if you don't use the mature bundle, and no one suggests that you do, for trick-or-treaters, you're going to get some probably upset parents. It's a good way to try out these titles, these issues. I will say, though, keep in mind, so it's severely discounted. It's 25 comics for $20. The condition varies on the issues. A lot of the issues are in fairly great shape, but there's always some issues that are a little more dinged or whatever it may be, that look like maybe they've been read a couple times, that kind of vibe. But nothing that's like, it's not like torn out pages or folded up or anything like that. It's just stuff that maybe you wouldn't consider as a mint or near mint or whatever copy. So just keep that in mind when you get these bundles too. But I do recommend, you know, even if you don't have a lot of kids in the area, a lot of trick-or-treaters, pick up a bundle. You never know. Maybe you discover a series at Alterna that you maybe weren't aware of, or you never would have given a try to. But now you got an ALTERNAWEEN bundle, and hey, you actually enjoy that comic and maybe want to pick up more. So it's a good way to discover something new at Alterna as well. Not just, which is the point of the event, to make comics for trick-or-treaters. March Hare says, my LCS cuts me deals on quarter and dollar bin books. Oh, nice. I think I only missed one ALTERNAWEEN, so I always have plenty of books. Well, that's great to hear. Very nice. Adam Warlock says, giving out comics on Halloween keeps my house egg-proof. It's always funny to hear from people about, like, you know, oh, they're referred to as the comic book house for Halloween. You know, when they get kids coming back, you got comics this year? And I've had multiple people say that, where they're like, the same, you know, group of kids that are in the neighborhood come on Halloween and they're asking for the comics. And that's awesome to hear. You know, keep comics alive. For a lot of kids, especially, you know, ones out there that maybe their parents aren't into comics, or they don't have a older sibling or whatever, this might be one of the only ways that they get comics. And at least, you know, with Alterna, they're not getting anything that's bad for them. You know, this is the healthiest thing they're going to get on Halloween night, other than that one lady who gives an apple or something. So, you know, or raisins, box of raisins. I always liked a box of raisins, though, when I was a kid, because you get so much chocolate. You kind of make your own weird version of Raisinets. But that was just me. So this is a really fun thing to do. And if you guys can do it, please, I encourage you to do it. Adam Warlock says, I know. I have to make that joke every year, but it's a good one. Let's see here. Cole King says, I'm handing out comics, Pokemon cards, and small card games this year. Had to work last year, so I gotta go all out. Oh, that's great to hear. Fantastic, Cole. Brian says, I stock my registered cardboard Alterna display stand for the trick-or-treaters and try to find the candy eyeballs. Well, your house sounds like the fun house. SDA, what's up, SDA? Good to see you. Thank you for being here tonight. Let's see, we got Dr. Mask says, here, little Johnny, try some Blood Realm. I know. I don't recommend doing that. I don't recommend. There's not strong language in Blood Realm, but the imagery is known to perhaps be a little too disturbing for kids of a certain range. Truth be told, I think, you know, if a kid's like 12 or up, I think they could probably handle Blood Realm. But better to be on the safe side of things. And Red Koi is one of those books too that it's a mature rated book, but there really isn't a whole heck of a lot of mature rated stuff in that book. But every now and then Tyler puts something in there that's maybe a little too risque. You know, he's got a decapitation, or maybe he's got an odd kind of nudity occurring that's kind of obscure. You know, so we got to still put the mature rating on there. But most of the books at Alterna are between all ages to young adult. So knock yourself out. Thank you, SDA, for putting the links up in the chat there. Appreciate it. Chris says, I passed out Alterna comics at a truck or treat. Oh, when they do like the trunk in the parking lot type thing, those are always fun looking, decked out cars with all the trick or treat stuff. That's great to hear. Awesome, Chris. Adam says, oh, that poor lady that gives out raisins and apples, she might as well paint a big target on her house for egg tossers. I think what was worse than that, well, two things for me as a kid were worse. One was when you get like pennies. That was weird. And then the other one was, and it was still candy, but it was always that candy that was like a really old taffy. I think it was supposed to be peanut butter. It was always in like the orange and black. I think the orange was supposed to be peanut butter. I think the black was supposed to be licorice or something. And they were always, no matter what, old as anything and rock hard. I'd rather receive apples and raisins than either of those two when I was a kid. And probably still now if I were to trick or treat. But I never understood that. No matter what. It just seemed like it was passed down from generation to generation. Those orange and black taffy. I can't even call it candy because it's not edible. Let's see. L.E. says, I was reading Watchmen when I was 12. Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, that's why I say it's hard for me to say, yeah, King Cryptid is not, you know, all ages. Because I really think if you're 9, if you're 10, you know, if you're at a decent enough reading level, you know, 3rd grade or so, I think, you can handle King Cryptid. You can handle a bunch of different Alterna titles very easily. And but we have to err on the safe side. Paul says, that orange and black wrap peanut butter stuff is what I imagine Soylent Green tastes like. Yeah, because it didn't taste like peanut butter. I don't know what it was supposed to taste like. I know they told us it was peanut butter. I don't know. It's pretty nasty stuff. Doc says, the Must Stop house is the one giving out juice bags after all that candy. Ooh. Interesting. Yeah, we never had that. Never had that. All right, so ALTERNAWEEN this year, it's up and running. It'll be up and running till October 15th. And again, grab your bundles, especially if you want an all ages bundle. Grab the all ages bundle before. I'd say last year we sold out within 2 weeks on the all ages bundle. So I'd say probably before October 1st would be a safe bet. Otherwise, I think you can still do this. You can still get maybe the mixed or the young adult or, you know, whatever. But make sure you act quickly on that.